Thanks, Brandon!
Oh, goodness.
Yep, I've forgotten what my real face looks like.
No scars though.
He does.
I was bleeding. What's just like you makes me an anomaly, an aberration. Watch the switch. You're too young to be on steroids, but
Shoot. So you're emotional support chicken. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Okay, so I'm Chicken Daddy J.J. Hughes, and this is Colonel, my emotional support chicken.
I mean, you can bring him everywhere. They can't deny him.
Exactly. He has
Okay.
entry to everywhere.
All right. That's nice.
So, where we want to go with this?
Oh, God, Lord. Okay, so you and your tag team partner are the tag team champs as of tonight, right?
As of tonight, yeah.
That was a really good match. I was very impressed. I've never watched you before. I like it to be a surprise, and I was surprised, and I really enjoyed the whole thing.
I appreciate that. So this is mine and Bam's first tag title
Bam.
here in IWE,
Okay.
but I was part of the inaugural tag team title match with the late Jeff Clout.
Really? Okay.
And me and Jeff had the tag titles at one point. So this is actually my third title reign here in IWE.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And back history here with Bam is back in 4th grade is when I met him.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. And at first we didn't get along. Like, he was relatively my bully. And our parents were chaperoned on a field trip, and it got to a point where, we live here, he lives here, which was like 2 streets over.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, he likes wrestling. Oh, he likes wrestling. And then he was, at the time we were, backyarding it. And he was like, oh, you like wrestling? You want a backyard? I'm like, no. Like, no. And he like forced me to do it. And like, we just clicked right after that. And the rest is pretty, he was the best man at my wedding. He was at
nice.
my grandparents' funeral.
Aww.
And all this, throughout our life, he's been that guy.
So he's not just your tag team partner.
Yeah,
he's your actual
he's like my
friend.
Life partner.
Aww,
Without being
sweet.
But yeah. And so, this was my 5th title here in IWE.
Really?
I completed the Grand Slam.
Oh.
So
Look at you go like a little top.
yeah. It's not anything important to the grand scheme of everything.
I mean,
but,
I feel like winning things is important. It means you did something right.
yeah.
Did you train with your tag team partner?
So actually, no. What had happened was at the time I started training, it was like 2016.
Okay.
And I was still in high school. And so it was only every Sunday that we would train. And it was with Joe Bird. And actually, to dial back to Orion, one of the first shows that I went to, or trainings, I didn't have knee pads.
Okay.
And he said, here, use mine. You're going to need these. So we had a moment, I guess, there where I was like, oh, okay, this is a cool atmosphere, At first, I was walking into the unknown. So then I trained with Joe for a while, and then we stopped training altogether. And then 5 years later, I started training.
Oh.
Again at MWO. And I was there from when 2013, I showed up there.
You just showed up?
Yeah. I had reached out and they said, just come out to a show, see what you like and whatever, if you want to be a part of it. And so I went to a show, and it was at the Bridge Church in Flint.
Okay.
And the next day the following week, they were having a show in Lake Orion, which was closer to my home. And so I went there, and then I started training. in July of 14 with MWO.
Okay.
IWE started in July of 14. So I was originally brought in to be the Mikey Whipwreck of IWE.
Okay.
So I was just the famous jobber, per se.
Okay, all right. Thank you for explaining that.
And the first couple shows, that's what I did. And then my opponent was late and card subject to change. And then it kind of went in my favor. But wrestling has been a thing that I was able to go to with everything in my life. I've had a lot of, not rough upbringing, but stuff that made me have to grow up faster than I had to.
So a rough upbringing, let's call it let's call a cardinal, not a blue jay, right?
Yeah. I don't know how far you want to get into
I'm interested. I feel like it makes you more human.
Yeah.
But I know that's a common theme with wrestlers and with fans as well. Like, it's kind of garbagey, and wrestling is an out for both of us.
Yeah, so I was 7 years old, and I had a handicapped sister who was 2 years younger than me.
Okay.
And it was December 5th, 1999, and it was my mom's birthday was on December 5th. And so she woke me up to wake my sister up so we can open presents.
Okay.
So I'm waking her up, trying to wake her up. She's not waking up. And I'm like, Mom, I think she's dead. She said, don't joke about that. And I'm like, Mom, I'm 7 years old. And
I don't.
This isn't such a, like, they're not going to take a 7-year-old seriously. But then they finally did, and she had died. And the left part of her brain didn't work. So she only said, like, Mom, Dad, and Bubba. She called me Bubba. So that was the first, like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. And then shortly after that, I went to a new school.
Oh,
so I'm dealing with my sister passing away, being a new kid at a new school, and how do I tell people what just happened to me? You know, and at 7 years old.
And you have to when you're that little. Like, it's a thing that you either get out or it kind of festers.
Yeah, and I wasn't ever able to open up and talk about this until I was 13, without bawling.
I mean, yeah.
So, but then shortly after that, my dad was in and out of jail, so he wasn't there. And then my uncle had a kid in 2000, and 6 months later, he had SIDS and died.
Oh my God.
Following year, my great grandma died.
Wow.
So it's 3 back hits that we took, and then my mother got addicted to stuff, and so she wasn't never really in the picture. But my stepdad was not necessarily the nicest guy, and me and him never it was just kind of I was there.
Okay.
And so I went through all this stuff in a span from 7 years old until 13. You know,
and that's a lot for a kid to deal with, one of those things, let alone all of those things. So how did wrestling help?
That's what really got me through it, because at some point it was I matured so much in those 6 years.
Oh yeah.
That my mom I basically took the parent role, and that's where I was okay, I need to get it out somehow, and that's when wrestling. My uncle he did his fair share of wrestling with MWO and stuff too, and that he's the one who was taking me to go see Joe, go to train with Joe Bird and everything.
Okay.
So, he's always been kind of that crutch in my life as well, and he had his own demons he had to deal with because of his son. So, leading up to all this, I started finding like the bully aspect. The wrestling had the bullies in there, and then the little guy, Rey Mysterios and stuff, would get the upper hand and get the story told, and it allowed me to focus on something besides what I was dealing with.
And you're the good guy. You could have very easily done the heel thing, I feel, but this feels more natural.
Yeah, I like when I tell people like everything that's transpired in my life, they're like, how are you where you are in life when you should be down the dark road? You know?
Yeah, you very easily could have
and
been
it's
down
just
that.
like my uncle had alcohol, my mom was opioids, so I seen all the dark route already, and I was like, that's my biggest thing, like going forward. It's like I've always tried finding the positive in people and life and everything, because life is dark in general.
Life is awful, and you have to like grab a hold of the little tiny bright things.
Yeah. That's why it's like it's a constant storm with a few rays of sunshine. That's how I look at life.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
And then like when I started getting into wrestling, you always have those friends that like wrestling, but then when you become part of wrestling, then you get even closer. Like Bojack, and we just fought him tonight. Yes. But Cream Street, we're close,
All right.
and we've always had each other's back because we all kind of came in together.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, okay, you're my brother, you're my brother, you're my brother, kind of thing. And we just never really, like, some people know us, but we don't broadcast us as like a group.
I feel like you're in really good company. That makes me like you even more now. So I really like Bojack. Cream Street's pretty great too, but Bojack's good people.
So actually, in a roundabout way, me and Bojack are related.
Shut up.
Yes.
Okay, what's your roundabout way? Because I must know this.
So I'm related to his kid's mother.
Oh, all right. Yeah. All right. Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So you're like almost brothers.
Whatever that makes us. Cousin brothers, I don't know.
Cousin
brothers. No. Definitely not that.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
I don't know what it goes down.
So, oh Lord, where else do you wrestle besides IWE?
So
anywhere else?
I don't
know.
I recently started picking up more bookings. I was like, for the longest time, I had a confidence problem where I didn't think I was good enough to go out there and get the reception that I got.
Then? You seem confident.
Honestly, it was Chicken Daddy and Chap Daddy that gave me my confidence. And it's like they constantly always tell you, the best way to be a wrestler is to be yourself.
Yeah, just amped up a notch.
And I wasn't comfortable in myself.
Okay.
To be able to portray what I am.
All right.
And I finally just, took a good look at myself and like, okay, I'm goofy. I'm a goofy guy. I do goofy stuff. So here comes Rubber Chicken and Chapstick.
And I love that. I really do, because it's genuine. Like it's a real thing. It doesn't feel like, even though it should, it's a chicken. Yeah. Like, yeah, exactly. But it works because it is you, but up.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then Bam has always told me, like the most ridiculous things get over in wrestling.
They really do.
And like he's been, if you look at anybody's career and you look at Bam, like he's the guy that can get anything over. Like he started slapping himself in the head and saying Bam, and I'm like, dude, that's never gonna get over. Like, you got kids getting up, adults getting up, slapping themselves in the head with them. I'm like, okay, I don't question you anymore.
I said that dog thing. I was like, I don't hate it. And then I laughed, and then I was like, yeah, I'm here for all of this. The whole thing. The cowboy hats and the good guy, and yeah.
That's it's so us backyarding, me and Bam, going all the way till now. This was the first time we've ever tagged.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, what? Really? Wow, you guys
So we were
really
feuding,
well together.
We were feuding in the backyard. Then we go to MWO. We feud there. We come here. I become heavyweight champion. The night that I come heavyweight champion, he's the champ. He comes out and challenges me.
Oh.
We have this. So I won in 2019.
Okay.
So I had the title all the way to 21. Obviously, a pandemic's in there.
Oh yeah, I always forget about that.
We did few shows in between there.
Okay.
But I still egotistical. I claim those dates.
All right, I do too.
I'm the longest reigning IW champion.
Can't say otherwise.
Exactly.
Hey. So the numbers speak for themselves.
Take the win.
And we feuded for those 3 years, and then I was the leader of the Greater Good originally.
Is that what they're called?
Because we were team ratings. Our team ratings was here when IW first started in 2014,
Okay.
and then it got members disbanded and new team ratings came along.
As you do.
And then I joined team ratings by jumping your boy Adam.
So rude.
And so I become like the Hogan of the team ratings, and then 2 of the guys drop out, and then it's just me and Steele. And me and Alex Steele then become the tag champs.
Okay.
And
Is that Cannonball?
yes.
Yeah.
No way!
Yeah.
Shut up! I love him too. He's not as much my boy as Adam Wick is, but I really love him.
Steele has a good heart, man.
Yeah, he's good.
He's a guy. He's a guy, yeah. And
He's a guy. So you guys became.
So then we became tag champs, and then we did that thing, and that leads up to 2019.
Okay.
And then that's when I went to heavyweight. Me and Bam do our thing, and now the turning of I turned on Greater Good, joined with Green, who they've been feuding. That's still continuing, and me and Bam became a unit. And then Buford shows up, and we're like, "Hey, we like your style. Hop on in."
I like. So who was that other big guy with you guys then? He was a large man with a cowboy hat on.
That's Rick Green. So that's our manager.
Oh, that's why he's just being smarmy and walking around. Yeah. Okay.
That's a straight.
It's hard to tell
shooter.
sometimes. A straight shooter.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
That's his deal. That's his deal.
Right.
Straight shooter, Rick Green. But yeah, and it's just as you know, life is life.
Yeah.
So like the closer we get to the dates of shows, is like my enthusiasm and my excitement, it just picks up.
Okay.
So then when I'm here, like I'm ready to go. You know, like from the moment I'm in here. And I'm in the ring like kind of all the time. I want to be in there all the time. Like I'm here to wrestle. I'm here to do the experience of it.
Well, I mean, that's like your break. You're out, right?
Yeah. That's I got a wife and kid at home, and we have our life. We do all the stuff together that we're family's supposed to do.
Yes.
And, I just want to show like my daughter to chase your goals, to chase your dreams.
I feel like that's important. What would you do if her dream was to be a wrestler? Would you be like, no, darling, that's not a good idea?
That'd be counterproductive if you.
I'm just look, but you can.
So I definitely would. It'd be rough because I'd have to bite the bullet because people like my mom at one point didn't want me to wrestle.
Okay.
And my dad has told me, hey, you should probably quit that. You're going to get really hurt, or whatever the case may be. And
does it make you want to do it more?
Honestly, it's just like I want to show them that, like, to go for something bigger than yourself.
All right.
Yeah. And going back to my daughter, like, she wants to, like, she wrestles with me at home, you know. She's like, hey, Dad, let's do that thing, you know. And like, we duck the line, grab the head, you know. She knows like the spots and
that's
stuff,
beautiful,
you know?
though.
And then she's 8 years old, so I'm like, hey, you work better than half the people in the, you know.
I bet she does. Yeah, so, I bet she does.
And I was, you know, not to say I'm anything, because I'm not, but
you were enjoyable and engaging from the second that you stepped out from behind that curtain. I've never watched you before. I purposely like don't like watching because it doesn't give you the real experience on video. You were fun. You were a good wrestler. You did a lot of good spots. And there was not a time when I was like, God, he's boring. So no, I mean, speak a little highly of yourself, because
that's a confidence thing. But you know,
I know. Oh, believe me, I know. I live in that hole.
So as far as like goals go, I've been picking up booking, and so right now I work all class.
Okay.
I know
them.
I'm supposed to go back to GLWA.
I love Globa.
IWE.
Okay.
Super Shogun.
Okay.
And if I get answered back, NWCW.
Where is that?
The show. Berkeley. And
oh, yes, I remember that now. I knew it sounded familiar. So you want to go more places, right? Because that's where you want to get seen.
I don't have like, obviously when everybody comes into the business, they're like, oh, we're going to be a WWE superstar.
Right.
Da, 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 you know,
do you have an end goal like that then?
When I first came in, yeah, but so when I started in 2014, I had met my wife and we got together in July of 2014.
You were a baby when you started though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was 21, 22.
Okay.
So that's 10 years ago. So, I met my wife in July. I started training in July.
Okay.
My wife got pregnant in October.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right.
So we went from just kind of together to serious.
Okay.
And then like ever since that, like,
that'll do it sometimes.
Yeah. So when we got pregnant is when like, okay, my goal is no longer to be the WWE superstar because of the scheduling and all that. Yeah. You know, so I was like, I'm going to be the father that I didn't have.
See, that's very nice.
And that's where I want, you know, even my wife's like dad wasn't in the picture either. You know, so it's like we have the kind of same scars, but we're going to be that unit for my daughter. So.
It's good to try and break those generational.
Yeah, that's my big thing. Is like I don't want any of my baggage to get left, you know. But going to the goals is I want to try. I don't know how much longer I want to continue.
Okay. There's a shelf life, right? Eventually.
I take a lot of bumps that I probably shouldn't, but for whatever reason I have like an addiction to bumping, so I bump, and sometimes it's pretty gnarly. I want to pick up more bookings and get out there more. I've started venturing, and at some point I want to do some tryouts for, you know, places, but I'm not 100% putting all my eggs in a basket.
All right. So. That's fair enough. It's a hard life. It's a shallow gene pool to pull from, and if they don't grab you like you exactly, then it's kind of unfair.
There's right place, right time.
Yes.
You know.
There's got to be everything working in your favor to be noticed and seen.
Yeah. And when you talk about like mentors and people you look up into the business, like the number one like guy that's always like reached out to me and like critiqued my stuff and everything has been Jack Price.
Really?
Yeah, like
I love him.
When I broke into MWO, he was like the hot thing.
Okay.
And so he was like, we had training matches for like your graduation match,
Okay.
and he was mine.
Oh.
So that's how, like, he's like okayed me to be good to go. Then he's always been like, hey, you should try this. Hey, work on this. Do this, change this, and it always just resonated with me. So like, the Rough Rider deal is like a tote to him.
Oh.
So,
Do you always listen to him then, or sometimes are you like, Jack, you don't?
Well,
shut up, bro.
like just recently, for Chap Daddy, I have that persona, and he has, hey, maybe you should try, changing your voice a little bit or whatever. And I tried fluctuating with the voices, and I just couldn't do, like, I couldn't. It doesn't come off right to me, or I stumble, or whatever it is. So I was like, I gotta just do it as me, I'm sorry, man. Like, but it's, to each your own. Some advice is good advice. Everybody has advice for you. But
I mean, if it's not gonna work, if it's not gonna be natural. Why did you pick Chap Daddy and Chicken Daddy?
So
why? I'm so confused.
It's just
I mean, the chicken I get, like the chicken, like
so the goofiness of my life is always, I just find the humor out of everything. And I was joking, I was like, nobody ever comes out with anything like Al Snow. Nobody has a gimmick that they, John does it, the Frankenbucket, which it's staying. And I'm like, I'm doing this redneck thing that I'm not like character redneck and J.J. normal. It's not the same thing.
Okay.
Like, I'm not a redneck.
Okay.
I might be white trash, but I'm not a redneck.
I mean, yeah, hard same.
But
there's a difference.
So I'm like, I need something, that I can run with.
Okay.
And I joked about this for a while, like, oh, I'm gonna come out with rubber chicken. And like, some people were like, dude, no, you're not. That doesn't make sense. No, you're not. I'm like, watch. And then I showed up, and they were like, and instantly, like, it got over. The fans love Colonel. I'm like,
because
let's go.
It's not like who does that? Yeah. It's so great. Yeah. It's idiotic, but like in the best possible way. Yeah, I didn't mean that. Like, it's great.
One
it's
of the biggest
great.
things in wrestling. You look at it, it's like, that is just so stupid. But
right, it works so good. It only works because of you, though. Yeah. I don't feel like just the chicken would work. That'd be dumb.
So the Roughnecks, we all kind of just, like, Bam always had like some kind of, he had a hammer and a bone. Oh. And he's always had some kind of yaha. And I'm like, I need my own kind of thing. And that's where, Colonel came in. And then now Buford is bringing in the bacon strips and the pork leg.
Yes, I noticed it. That was very funny. That was very funny too.
Now we're all on the same page. We're like, all right, let's go. And Chap Daddy, that's a whole nother beast.
Yes, that's what I want. I'm curious, but like, this makes sense. This I can totally get. But Chap Daddy, what is that?
So I did a runway model gimmick, and
okay,
that's the premise of it. I did the strut and everything, that when I went to Shogun, that's what I was originally going in portraying. I was the main attraction. Boom, 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 and then the guys there were like, to get some extra heat or something, you need like chapstick or something. I'm like, okay, so I brought one and I did it one time, and it just clicked in my head, like, reapply and then stay moist. And I'm like, what is, like, it just took me over. I'm like, dude, what is going on? And like, so next week I have a get up, like, I'm fully packed.
I'm very
like
excited
the full
that we're going to be there, actually.
So,
I'm very excited for Chap Daddy.
Yeah, next week is
Shogun.
Yes.
It's going to be stellar.
I said I'm excited.
I'm excited too. It's kind of flipping the table. It's hard, like, in the wrestling world, because like okay, here I just beat Roberto Cruz, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But next week I'm teaming Roberto Cruz.
It is very confusing. Like somebody was like, "You don't even know who to yay for." I'm like, "I yay for the people I like. I don't care what. I don't care.
Yeah.
If I like them, that's who I'm yaying for."
Yeah, and you know, to each their own. You know, that's why everybody has, you know, some kind of star power per se. And but like that's the thing is, like right now, like Chap Daddy's the heel, and Chicken Daddy's the babyface.
That's weird. You're a heel?
Yeah, Chap Daddy's heel, and so I'm playing both roles.
Is that hard? I feel like that would be hard.
Originally, like I was, because I was heel from from like 2017 until 2021.
Okay. Oh, that's a long freaking. And they love you. They were so excited.
But at one point, they just like I took a step towards the girl and she started bawling her eyes.
Oh wow, that's
Like
bad.
that is how
That's scary.
like how I had the steampunk mask and everything, and I had the hoses. I was the Archduke, and like so it was like I was all royalty and pinkies up and everything, and that was my champion gimmick when I was the heavyweight champion. I was the Archduke, and that's the leader of Greater Good, and then we transitioned to where we are, and the whole thing is we were feuding with Rick Green, and it came to a point where Stossel, who's the leader or the manager of Greater Good,
everybody hates him.
He wanted me to hit Green with the chair.
Okay.
And we've already did beatdowns after beatdowns after beatdown, you know. So I stopped, and then I attacked the crooked ref Dan Tanner. Boom. And then I just like everything went to shambles, and I helped Rick Green up, and we made our amends.
Oh.
And then that's where we're at now.
Oh, look at that. That's nice.
So.
I like that. I usually like the heels the best. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, heels is fun. That's I get to live the best of both worlds right now.
You do.
That's the thing for me. It's like I feel like I'm gelling right now. So I'm not gonna throw a monkey wrench into the fire. You know what I mean?
I do. Yes.
Yeah, I don't want
to wrench into the fire.
Exactly.
For me, I like it.
Exactly. What's it gonna do? You know. But
no, that's great.
It's.
What do you prefer?
Oh.
What do you like the best?
See, that's it.
Yep, that's what I do. The hard questions. And don't wither rather. Whatever came to your mind when I asked that, that's the one you prefer.
So as of recently, it's Chap Daddy.
Okay.
Because of the interactions that I get off of it.
With the other wrestlers or with the I almost said
with the fans.
With the fans.
With the fans.
See, that's what I like.
Like, so tonight, those guys.
Somebody gave you $1.
They both. I got $2.
I only saw one. And I laughed so hard.
They started doing that at Shogun. So when I come, I come up to them and I'll apply chapstick in front of them, and they hand me dollar bills, and I tuck them in my trunk. So I'm getting paid before it's even time to get paid. So, I'm doing something.
I was like, he's like a stripper.
That's like, I float the line of being a stripper with Chap Daddy. It's like, I'm there, but I'm never going to cross the line.
All right.
So, and Chap Daddy, there's no like sexuality thing to it or anything. It's just a guy that's obsessed with chapstick.
I mean, chapstick's pretty exciting. Hey, I'm not gonna lie.
And I got flavors for days. So
I'm crying right now. Do you really?
Yeah. Like, I have multiple different flavors. Every time I use a chapstick, it's a different flavor.
All right. So, you got to keep it moist, though. Man, you're making me want to put my chapstick on at this point.
It's a worldwide trend.
I do have lipstick. I don't have fancy flavors because I like things that work.
So, I just want to better myself before I really make the run that I want. 2024, I want to do a run for it. Whatever that is, whatever that ends up being.
So like a bigger thing or a higher tier than
A
this?
higher tier or a bigger experience.
Okay.
So, not to say that I want to leave here or I'm going to leave this company to go to this company. Yeah.
Like different stuff.
Yeah.
Have you thought of your chainsaw?
So I have thought up there, and
No, it's not. It's
far from where I live, but
okay. Well, and it's also far from where we live too.
Yeah,
so like in all
I live down by Flint. So
yeah, that's a lot.
It's a little bit of a hike, but that's what wrestling is.
It is. It's a sacrifice, right?
I just what I have heard out of there is there's a waiting list to get in it. So
I mean, really, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I've always watched it. I've always paid attention to it. I know what's going. I pay attention. I've just never reached out.
You should reach out. You should just go up there. You should go up there and help and hang out.
That's my biggest thing is I just have to do. And it's
Well, it's a sacrifice you're taking away from your daughter and your wife.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's got to be hard. You work all week, I'm sure. Everybody's got a day job.
Yeah, and my days are long.
Are they?
I wake up at 3:30 in the morning.
Oh God.
At work by 5.
Oh.
I work an hour away.
Oh.
I'm home around 4:45.
Oh. Wow.
So then
that's a long day.
And then my kid goes to bed 8 o'clock.
I mean,
9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So in that time, it's shower, dinner, her shower, bed.
Yeah.
That's my week, and then the weekend is okay. We're going here, or we're doing.
Do they come with you ever?
So they used to, and then my daughter doesn't like loud noises.
Hard same.
So it was it became a rough point, and.
Highly recommend the Loop earplugs.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor. I just found them, and the whole wrestling experience was 100% better because of them. Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, they support me fully.
Yeah. They have to.
Yeah, well, they don't have to, but
well, no, that's true. I mean, to be there. Still.
Yeah. And then I've always been. Me and my wife haven't really had those supporters in our life.
Okay.
But over the time, we've developed them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, and now we're just each other's number one supporters.
That's wonderful.
But, so it's just work, family, wrestling. That's kind of, that's who JJ is work, family,
life?
Wrestling. Yeah.
Do you wrestle on Sundays too? Or is that like a... Because I know there's so many.
So normally I just was doing Saturdays.
Okay.
But recently I've been picking up Fridays and some Sundays, and with Sundays are really rough because Monday morning I got to get up at 3:30.
Oh, see, and I forget about that because I do that and I'm like, whatever, sleep is for the week.
Friday would probably be pretty rough too.
Friday.
Yeah. That's so.
God Lord.
When I did that Berkeley show for NWCW, I was at work up at 3:30 at work. I had to go get Bojack from his house after I left work. Picked Bojack up, came back to the show. Then had to take Bojack back home, and we had Shogun the next day.
Oh my God!
So I didn't get home until 1 o'clock in the morning. So I was up 22 hours. By the time I got home and showered and cleaned my stuff, ready for Shogun, I was up 24 hours. Wow. I got 3 hours of sleep, woke up with my daughter, and then was headed to Shogun.
Oh, wow.
So that's the sacrifice of wrestling. So
it is the sacrifice. And you do it because you love it. Yeah. Well, no, you can't complain about it, but it's still really garbagey sometimes.
Yeah. That's wrestling can be what you make it. You can either look at the negatives or you can look at the positives.
And the positive is you get to wrestle?
You get to wrestle, you get to blow off that steam, you get to be somebody that you don't always have, you're not you.
Okay.
You get that outing, you get that stress reliever, whatever is weighing on you, you get to let it go.
That's one of the reasons that I started liking wrestling, is because I can get lost in it for 2 hours or 3 hours or however long it is.
Yeah.
And it's like a movie. I don't have to worry about what's going on out there, because that's out there. It doesn't matter when the wrestling is happening.
Exactly.
So I get it.
I get it. Like the first thing that I ever like really remember in wrestling, like viewership fan wise, was Stephanie McMahon on the cross being sacrificed.
Oh wow, that sounds awful.
It was like the Ministry of Darkness Undertaker.
Oh wow.
And like I just remember her like going up on the cross with the fire and everything. I'm like, oh, what the hell is this?
Wow.
I was just like so mind blown. And then like it was shortly after that is when Foley got thrown off the cage, and I'm like, I've seen that. Like, and my uncle is like, he's a wrestling fan, and like he did it and everything else. So it's like he's like my best friend per se, and like Foley's his guy.
Oh.
And my uncle's gimmick was basically a biker Foley.
Okay.
And we always had this little banter that when Orton's my favorite.
Okay.
So Orton and Foley's feud, I was like, we'd always just talk smack, But I like the chemistry that you get with people too, because like someone's passion, like you can read it off them, like out the go.
No, you can tell. I can tell for sure. Like when somebody comes out and they really are passionate about, like, it makes their performance and the whole show like so much more better.
When I was starting to become in the heavyweight picture here,
okay,
Benjamin Brody was the guy. So when he comes out and he does the hush stuff, that is the most intense moment. Like I feel the energy from him, so I'm like, okay, we're going. This is about to happen. Like like I started getting it, like feeling his waves. Like I'm like, okay, it just made me even more excited, and I was in the moment, and I love being able to watch people use their imagination and bring it to life.
Yeah, that's a really good. I like that, because that's exactly what happens. Yeah. They really do. Wow. Okay, color me impressed with your words. I can't word. See, look,
it's okay.
Blew my mind so much I can't even word. It's really
right.
Just my brain. But it's important, that energy transference. I mean, it's between wrestlers, but it's between the audience and the wrestlers too.
That's the connection. As soon as you make that connection, the rest is easy peasy.
It is.
Peasy. It doesn't matter what you do in there. If you make that connection from the go, this is my connection. I've come out with this Colonel. They're toned in off of that. Like they know what's about to happen. And that's not to tote like me or anything. It's just like they're excited. And majority of these guys are fans. Like
obviously.
kids. They're kids. I mean, and this is a toy.
I mean, I'm a child at my heart.
Yeah, right. Everybody is. Whatever you get enjoyment out of, that's stupid thing.
It's a chicken. It's your emotional support chicken.
Yeah. So
where did you get that little jackety thing from? I must know.
This came as a package.
Did it really?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Everything was already sketched on there and put on there. But the original Colonel, I broke over Emulator's back.
Oh, you actually broke one of those?
Well, I broke the squeaker.
Oh,
I broke the squeaker in them.
Wow!
And we were doing a benefit show for a family, and the family member wanted Colonel.
Oh, okay.
So I see. It was already broke, so I had signed him and allowed him to,
See, that's so nice. Look at you.
So this is Colonel 2.
Colonel 2?
Yeah.
Well, it's nice that he's carrying on in Colonel One's stead.
Yes, yes.
It was nice you gave Colonel One away.
Colonel One is in a good home.
That's good. I'm glad.
He's living his best life.
He's living his best life.
He's living his best life. It's good. That's where all chickens should go when they get again. Oh, Lord. All right. Well, you have to get home to your family, I know.
do.
Thank you so much for sitting and talking to me. I appreciate you. And I cannot wait to see you next week.
All right. We will
Okay.
resume.
What? It is next week. Yes, I'm so excited.